Okay, so I think I just said that the topic is Annabel Lee. That is not correct. However, I had to split up my video because I can only record 5 minutes at a time. So this is a continuation. Sorry about that. Anyways, it starts off with it was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea, and we already see that he provides this symbolism, and we'll see this phrase throughout the entire poem in a kingdom by the sea, and he talks about this girl or this maiden named Annabel Lee and how much he really loved her from the narrator's point of view. He continues that they were a child in the uh, children by the kingdom of, by the sea, and that they loved with a love that was more than love. And this part where he says that I was a child and she was a child, what happened was when this kind of relates to his wife Virginia Clem, because when he got married to her, his cousin Virginia, she was 13 and he was 26, I believe. And so what happened was he got the permission certificate to marry her. And then the next year they got married and they had a false witness say that she was like 21 so that they can get married. Anyways, this just talks about how much he loves her and that even heaven like coveted the love that they had. Um, it continues that this was the reason, like how strong their love was, that the wind blew out a cold, chilling breeze, and it came to Annabel Lee, and it caused her to die. Like it says that it shuts her up in a sepulcher, and in the next part of the poem, we see that the wind actually does come and kill Annabel Lee. And the way that Virginia Clem died in 1847 was because of tuberculosis, and we know that it affects the lungs with bacteria. No, it's an infection. My bad. And so this just kind of continues to relate, and so we can see like the effect that her death had on him, and he had like a lot of hardship and trial in his life, and so a lot of his dark poems and writings can be contributed from that, especially this one, as we see that he wrote this after her death, but pretty soon before his. But it continues, even though that this Annabel Lee dies, that he says that their love was stronger by far than the love of others, and the angels in heaven and the demons down under the sea, they can't ever separate them. His whole theme of this entire thing is how strong his love is for Annabel Lee, and that nothing can even part them, even death. And so he finishes it off talking about his Annabel Lee and how he sees her in his dreams, and every night he lies down by her side. I mean, I don't know if that's literally like inside of her tomb coffin thing or like just nearby, but I mean, that would kind of be a little bit of irony for him because he's talking about how their love is so strong, but he just continues that he sees her every night, and their love is so strong, even though that she's dead, that nothing will ever be able to split them apart. And so, a little, he ends it that this is what he does in her tomb by the sounding sea. And this is the first time he calls it the sounding sea. In my analysis of this, I felt like he kept talking about the kingdom and the sea because it's sort of like an analogy or symbolism between life and death, you know. And in the kingdom, he was able to be with his Annabel Lee, but after she died, like the sea, the wind, the cold wind that separated them. Um, in that last phrase, we don't see that it's in her tomb by the kingdom by the sea, but now it's just by the sea. And so I feel like that's symbolic of the separation of life and death. But anyways, this was my poem. It was Annabel Lee. Talks about the love that he had and how it kind of relates to his love he had for his wife when he was alive. Edgar,